go. Hey, man.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm good. So
Great.
sorry for the delay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Got a lot of craziness going on. Is the lighting good? Because on my camera it was fine, but now that I'm looking at it,
I think it's good.
it looks okay.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I can hear you decent. Okay. See, it looks so, like on my end, it looks like it's all blown out. It's so weird.
Huh.
Let me do this. Let me try this. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
We'll do natural light. Let me swing it. Let me see. Maybe. Okay, hold on a second. What's wrong with this thing? Oh, this thing's not working. Okay.
Fine.
No, it's. You know what it is? The lower half of my screen
Yeah.
goes dark. I think that's just the way the screen is.
Yeah. Yeah, because it looks good.
Okay.
You know what? I have like the same problem sometimes, you know, like whenever I got like a pro lighting and then the phone starts to like the light starts to decrease and then it looks like there's bad lighting, but then it turned out that it was the phone who was doing that. So
Yeah, I think it's the phone, actually, the actual IG Live. Let me see.
yeah.
See now? I'm trying to get a place where I'm comfortable to sit. Let me do this. Give me 2 seconds.
Take your time. It's fine. Take your time, man.
All right. Here we just do this. Here. All right. We'll go like this. So I can sit. Boom.
There you go.
There we go. I should probably just do this initially. All right. So how's it going, man?
Yeah, everything's good. What about you?
I'm good, dude. I'm good.
That's great to know. How's your day treating you so far?
It's good. I was working late. I'm producing a new movie right now. Well, I'm in pre-production on 2 different movies. Producing 2 different movies and acting in them as well. So, you know, trying to get things off the ground in pre-production and making, like, you know, decisions with a whole team. It's not so easy sometimes. We're dealing with the director who's in Australia.
Yeah.
My other producing partner who's here, and then trying to, like, formulate the times. Not so easy because they're 17 hours ahead. So, like, in the middle of the morning, they're like at night. So it's like trying to figure it out. But it's all good. It's all
That's
good.
so
So yeah, it's been good. So I slept. I needed to sleep a little bit, and I have some stuff I had to take care of. So I appreciate you pushing and stuff like that.
No problem, man. No problem.
So where are you? You're in Mexico.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Well, it's in a city called Querétaro. It's like an hour and a half away from the capital, which is Mexico City. I mean, if you look up on the map, you will see like in the middle, right in the middle. That's where I live. It's Querétaro.
Well, I come to Mexico City quite often. Actually, my fiance is from Mexico City.
Oh, no kidding! How cool!
Yeah, she was born in Merida, and then she was raised in Mexico City, and then came to Los Angeles when she was 11.
There you go.
Yeah, so I was just in Mexico City. I was there. I come like at least once a year, maybe twice a year. I was just there for commercial. I shot a commercial there for 8 days there in Acapulco.
Okay. How cool.
Yeah, I love Mexico City. It's actually awesome. So I know it pretty well. So
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. Okay. So, before we start, welcome to the show, man. It is so cool to have you here. Now, before we start, I have to give you an epic intro. If you have seen some of my episodes, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, that's fine. Let me show you then. There you go.
Love it.
Love doing this. Now,
Love it.
So yeah, so starting with the whole interview now. Tell me how your acting career started.
My acting career started, well, a long time ago.
Yeah.
When I was a lot younger. Well, I grew up in the States, in Washington, D.C. And actually, I wasn't into acting. I didn't study acting. I wasn't in theater. I actually played sports. I played basketball. And I played point guard, pretty much throughout my entire childhood in high school. And then going into my senior year, I was getting scouted by an agent from Italy to play professionally. Yeah, to play professionally in Italy. But unfortunately, I was in a summer league game and I got injured. I tore my ankle. So going into my senior year, I was injured. So it kind of detoured my path of basketball. And that was literally the only thing that I lived and breathed. That and women. No, this is one thing I regret. I didn't fulfill that because after I rehabilitated my ankle, I kind of chickened out and didn't go. So basically, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at that particular point. I was, still only 17, 18 years old. And then, lo and behold, probably when I was almost 19 years old, I was at a girlfriend's house at the time, and a mom came to pick up her kid. My girl was babysitting this little kid.
Yeah.
And the mom came, and I had met her before, but she said to me, she goes, "Have you ever thought about modeling?" And I said, and where I'm from, like, it's either sports or like you get a real job. Like, it's not like, of course we love movies and whatever else, but you don't think you're actually gonna go do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she said you should think about getting into modeling. And I said, model? What am I modeling? She goes, like male modeling, like commercials and like TV and modeling, like doing print ads. And I said, I can't do that. My friends would make fun, tease me and make fun of me. I'm not going to be a male model.
Yeah.
And she's like, I really think you should. You have a good look. She said, I think you actually could do well at it. So I went and actually she set up a meeting with her kid's agent because he was like a little model for Tommy Hilfiger. So they had an adult division. They signed me. I ended up doing some modeling work in DC and Maryland. But at that particular point, I started kind of maybe the interest of like getting into TV. Yeah. But I was still living in Maryland. I wasn't in like one of the main hubs that you would, be an actor, not Los Angeles or New York, or back then it was New York and Los Angeles. It wasn't too many other locations like Atlanta now and a bunch of other places. But so I was modeling for a little while. I met a very good friend of mine now at a fashion show, and she had been modeling for a while. And she says, "Hey, if you still want to you really want to get into this, we should move to New York. You should go to New York and meet with agencies." Okay. And I'm only 5'10", so I'm not that tall. So to be a male model in New York and like the fashion, it's tough, man. They're giants. Yeah. So, but I went and I gave it a shot. And when I got there, a lot of people that met me basically said, you have more than just a look. You have a personality, and you seem to have like outgoing personality and charisma. You should maybe look at me getting into TV and film. Yeah. So I started taking some classes. The only classes I'd ever taken in my life was in high school. It was a theater class that I literally quit after one day. I remember reading it going, I'm not going to read this. I don't want to read this. I'm not Shakespearean. This doesn't interest me. And it's funny that flash forward 20 years later, that's my career. But I think it's funny that basically I started studying acting. I started kind of getting an interest for it. I liked the thrill of it, and I ended up getting meetings with theatrical agents, commercial agents, and ended up signing with a big modeling agency in New York, and then a place called Innovative Artists in New York City a long time ago. And and then I started auditioning. I didn't even know what I got myself into. I had no clue. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I just ended up doing something that I thought I could make money at, or at least have somewhat of a career. Yeah. And it turned into today.
There you go.
Pretty much how it started in a nutshell.
Yeah. I mean, that is an epic journey so far,
It's been a crazy one. I'm not gonna lie about that.
For sure. And
Yeah.
and like, what were some of the challenges that you had when you were recently started with your acting career?
Challenges?
Hmm.
I mean, which one do you want me to tell you? There's a billion of them. I mean, look, anybody who's been in TV or in film or any part of the entertainment industry obviously knows it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think the major thing for me was I was so used to playing basketball and sports and really just focused that much on one particular thing. Like, my passion for basketball was so severe, that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
So getting into modeling and acting was like kind of like a hobby, I guess. I didn't know it was going to turn into my career.
Mm.
So I guess going in, you know, I built myself to be able to take losses in basketball because I worked so hard at it, but I knew what came along with that because you know what I mean? That's what I practiced for. So I didn't practice mentally for the entertainment industry.
Mm.
So when you're being judged on, you know, your appearance, the way you speak, the way, just everything, the way you walk, the way your ears look. I mean, you name it, from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah.
You're not prepared for that, especially when it's your appearance, because that, you know, it can bring out a severe insecurity in people.
Mm.
So a lot of the uphill battles where a lot was dealing with the answer no. I mean, I got really fortunate kind of early on. A lot of things I would say went my way, but it was kind of a good and bad thing because you get used to being told yes, or at least the majority of the time being told yes, and people liking you or saying you're doing great or whatever. But it's when, you know, the sides flip and all of a sudden you get all these no's, and all of a sudden you're just not right anymore, and all of a sudden you're almost feeling like, what did I do wrong? Like, what's wrong? You know what I mean? So it builds this really severe insecurity in your system, in your head, that nobody, I think, in the world or in life in general is built to understand that until you become strong enough to understand that you're actually the one with the power. And it takes years sometimes for people to figure that out, if they ever figure it out. But I think once you realize that you have the power and it's actually in your hands, you make the choices. They want you, and if they don't want you, then the next person will. You have to almost make yourself understand that it isn't always about you.
Yeah.
It's about things that they see that's outside of their, you know, your perspective. So it was a very much, you know, a struggle, like a tug of war in your head throughout my career, anybody's career, when you're trying to constantly keep moving up. You know what I mean? So when you feel like you hit a wall, when you feel like things are going backwards, you feel like you're just not doing as well as you once did. You know what I mean? Obviously, you need to make money. So there's lots of things. So there's just there's so many factors that go into learning this business that it would take me days to sit here and tell you. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So I'm just, you know, the one thing I will say to, you know, anyone who's doing it or wants to give it a try, you have to, you know, the first 10 years of my career, I didn't know if this was my passion at all, because I thought I was literally doing it because I just was able to, and I got an opportunity at it. It's very superficial to a certain degree, you know what I mean? Materialistic wise, because you're being based off your looks, you're being based off of, you know, if you're a talented performer, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, what does that really mean? You have to find the passion and why you're even really doing it. So I had to find the purpose of why I really wanted to do this. So even 10 years into my career, I think I was like, do I care about this? And then it just clicked. And when it clicked, it became something that I live and breathe, because and now I understand it. But that's also when I took the power and the control. You know, things still go wrong. People still say no, but I don't let that no bother me, because I'm going to make one of them say yes. And I figured out in my head that what do they know more than I do? I've been in this business longer than they have. So a lot of them. So it's just perseverance and perspective. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Perseverance and perspective, and just honestly believing in yourself 100 billion%. Like, you cannot not believe in yourself, because the minute you don't believe in yourself, they won't believe in you. Everybody can read that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
They want to be able to look up to you. They want to hire you so they can learn something from you too. And I think that's my perspective on it at this point. But it doesn't make it easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it is super true that whenever you can tell whenever someone is insecure about themselves or not by the way they talk, by the way they express, even by the way they walk sometimes, and yeah, it can get like a little bit discouraged whenever you are relying on someone that is not trusting on himself. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that's like saying, an airplane pilot doesn't feel, you can see he's super insecure to fly the plane that day, and you guys are all, you know what I mean? Like, he comes out and say, hey guys, I don't know how I'm feeling about flying today. I'm just not feeling it. I mean, I think people will get off the plane. So, like, it's the same thing with anything else in life. A bus driver is like, I'm just not, I've had a few drinks. I shouldn't be driving. Sure, just go ahead, you're fine. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, like, literally convince everyone around you that you are it. It's an interesting dynamic because then it almost becomes very in ways of, it's like almost like gives you like this leadership role within your own head, I guess, because if you're not your own leader, then you know what I mean? Like, they want to be able to follow you, and if you're reaching for the stars or whatever you want to call it, that whenever you think that you can't even reach the freaking clouds, you can't get there. I mean, think about that. People don't follow people if they feel like, oh, they're one of us. And that's the thing. I don't mean that these people or anyone in this business is above anyone. I mean, if we're going to be engaged to this person, which that's what I learned what the passion was about, like people that I look up to as an actor or, sports athlete.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm looking at them and so engaged and like enthralled by what they're doing, because they figured out a way to encapture like this essence. And I think that's what all of entertainment is. It's just to entertain, but also feel like you command the situation in the screen. So you have to believe in yourself, and that is it.
There you go.
Along with everything else. But yes, you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah, totally. Now, in 2003, you were in Chevy Malibu Max. Now, was that like your first film? And what are some of the things that you learned from that first experience?
Chevy Malibu Max actually was a commercial for Chevy Malibu, but it was directed by the director of the movie Speed.
Okay.
If I'm saying his name correctly, I think it's John Dublanc. I might be saying it wrong, and I apologize if I said his name wrong. But he was actually the director of the movie Speed with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. It was shot very cinematic, but it was a commercial campaign actually for Chevy.
Yeah.
For the car, yeah. For the car company.
Okay.
Was that 2003? That was 2003?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
2003.
Wow.
Long time, right?
Yeah. It's so funny that 2003 sounds like a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
That's scary.
Exactly.
That's actually very scary.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know what you mean. And then in 2004, you were in the music video from Dido, "Stand in My Shoes." Now, tell me, like, how the process works for a music video. I mean, they will guide you like between takes, or they will tell you like exactly what you have to do in the scene, like how usually that process works.
Well, music videos actually are very different than most, because music videos are long days on set. Okay. That was actually my first music video ever, which became a chain of music videos. But so you're asking about like music videos in general, or this particular one?
Yeah, in general.
It just depends on who's directing it and what's the premise, what's the storyline of the music video. Because at the end of the day, it's it's a silent 3-minute, 4-minute short movie commercial and saying with music over it. Do you know what I mean? So you're playing a character within whatever the storyline is. But as far as like how they film it and takes wise, I'm trying to remember. You don't nearly get as many takes as, well, the star does. I mean, I played the love interest in all the videos, obviously, because I'm not a singer. I wish I could sing, but I can't. One day, my next life, I'll sing. Yeah, we don't nearly get, like, the love interest plays opposite to the, you know, the singer or whatever. Doesn't nearly get as many takes on their side, I would say, as the singer does, which is understandable, again. But I'm trying to think, like, I mean, we took takes. There was a lot of takes. Because, you know, music video, but you also remember condensing it to a 3.5 minutes, whatever the song is. So, where you would think you would move fast, it actually doesn't. Like, they're long days. Those are like 18, 20-hour days.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I mean, some music videos, not all, but there's a handful of them, I'll tell you, I was there for 18 days. I mean, 18 hours, and I don't even think I shot 1 hour yet.
That's
and they're like, yeah. So, it's crazy, actually. But yeah, no, I mean, working with Dido was really cool. That was my first music video. I was actually pretty excited about it because I never really thought about auditioning for music videos. Yeah. And then I became like, then it was like a thing. And then all of a sudden, I just started becoming this music video boyfriend. So that was, so it was very different. Each artist got to work with, you know, a handful of cool people. So I don't know if any more music videos or any of your questions. So I don't want to ruin for your next question if it's about another music video. So I won't say who else I've worked with yet.
Yeah, no, but I mean, so you have appeared in a lot of music videos from guys like Papa Roach and Jennifer Lopez. And what do you like the most about perform on music videos?
Well, I feel like because you're telling a story with an artist. I mean, look, I was fan. Each artist I got to work with, I was like basically a fan of.
Yeah.
You know, I love Papa Roach's music. Jennifer Lopez. I mean, it's hard not to like Jennifer Lopez. And being a fan of her as an actress and just in general. But I don't know, man. You feel like you're going on this journey with this artist, especially if you're playing love interest or something, and you're watching them tell their story in 3 minutes and whatever that song means to them. You know, obviously, if they wrote it, it's very meaningful to them. You're going on that journey with them. So, you know, and it's for like basically all time. So, you know, when they air music videos, you like set a place in time in your life with this particular artist, telling their story. So, just like in a movie or a commercial, but this particular thing, because music I think means more than really anything. I think that people really resonate with music on a daily basis, more than even TV and movies. You know, me being in TV and film, I mean, I listen to music all day long.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could freaking sing because it means like a lot to me because I listen to the words and I understand what it means. And sometimes it's funny because I'll ask like my girl, like, do you know what they're saying there? Like what that even means? And they're like, no, I never really thought about it. But like, I really like my favorite singer of all time is Whitney Houston.
Okay.
And a lot of people wouldn't know that. But like, she's just unreal. I mean, she's just, to me, and even since I was a kid, I've always been a huge fan of Whitney Houston. Oldies music from the 60s. I'm dating myself now. I mean, I wasn't born in the 60s. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I've always thought music has a lot of meaning more than pretty much any other part of entertainment on a daily basis because it's what gets us through our day. You know, when you're sad, you kind of try to listen to music to lift yourself up.
Yeah.
When you want to be sad, you listen to music. When, you know what I mean? Like, just motivate you, cleaning your house, you listen to music. That's all you do is listen to music. So I think it's very impactful. So being part of those music videos was like a part in their, you know, their time, their career, and going on a journey for whatever this song meant to them. So you look back going, wow, you were a part of that. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm grateful that I had a chance to work with the people I did.
There you go. Yeah, it is really cool that, by the way. Yeah. So then in 2007, you were in CSI New York. You played as Charles Price. Tell me about your character and about the experience of being in that show.
Charles Price. Well, he was okay. So I did a guest spot on the show. I worked with Gary Sinise, and yeah, which was really cool because he was from Forrest Gump. So that was, I mean, he's obviously been in a lot of movies. So it was really cool to work opposite him. I play a security guard who is ends up getting murdered with his I guess his security guard partner. But they were on the top of the Statue of Liberty in the torch. And it kind of is interesting because the way the intro of the show comes in from like almost like a drone shot, and then like they're going at it on the torch. This guy Charles Price and this other character, and it was actually the first time. I remember the network told me it was the first time that they'd been that risque, showing like anything sort of like intimate or sexual and skin to that degree. So like I was like the guinea pig guest star guy with this girl, and it was actually really, really cool the way they shot it. It looked really cool. We ended up getting murdered, but then there's like flashbacks throughout the episode of how it all happened, who the murderer is, me actually finding him. He actually ended up, the murderer ended up kind of kidnapping the woman I was with because we were separated at that time. So then I find him, and he ends up telling me to put my gun down. He ends up killing us both, evidently. So throughout the episode, you see flashbacks of like Gary Sinise's character talking to like almost like a ghost version of me, trying to figure out what had happened. Very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just a security guard who did bad things at the torch and got murdered, and then told the story of how he got killed.
There you go. Well, but that's so cool because I mean everybody knows CSI. I mean, I remember back when I was a kid, and like they were putting like every single episode of CSI New York or CSI Miami, like every.
Oh, I know. There's so many CSIs.
Yeah, so many, man. Yeah.
It's actually funny. I have a movie that's coming out early in the next year. It's about Hollywood, but there's a quote that I have a confrontation. It's a dark comedy. It's a comedy. I'm yelling at this guy in my movie who's like, I don't want to give anything away, but I mentioned to him that there's like 1,000 CSIs, and like because he was supposed to say. Yeah. He's supposed to like meet me at a bar. He's supposed to make me look cool in front of these casting directors because it's about Hollywood. But he ended up saying, "Oh my God," because my character name is Jimmy Star. So he's like, "Oh my God, Jimmy Star, I saw you on The Mentalist." Yeah. And The Mentalist is a show that's been canceled a couple years ago or a handful of years ago. But the whole point is I paid him to make me look cool. But he was supposed to say CSI. Like, I saw you on an episode of CSI. He says The Mentalist. So I see him the next day, and he's like, "How did I do, man?" And I'm like, "Horrible." I'm like, "Dude, there's 1,000 CSIs, you fucking douche-tard." Oh, can I cuss, man? You fucking douche-tard. Like, what the hell? What do I pay you for? And it's just funny because there was like 1,000 CSIs.
Yeah, that's like 1,000 CSIs. Yeah. And between 2009 and 2011, you were in Days of Our Lives. You played as Troy. So tell me, what are some of the things that you like about your character?
Oh, Troy. Jeez. Let's see. Soap operas are always very interesting. Well, I mean, Troy had, let me see, he had long hair, which was really funny. That look it makes me laugh. I'm sorry when I think about it. I'm like, what were you thinking? Well, I guess it got me the show. I played like kind of like a bad boy. I played a bad boy, like middleman. I was like, there was like this whole drug operation going on the show. Yeah. And I was like the middle guy drug dealer between the boss and like the girl that I was connected with on the show who was playing me was actually undercover. Played by Lindsay Hartley, who's an awesome actress and a good friend. I don't know. He was just this guy. He's sort of suave, kind of cheesy. When I think back, it's so funny. It's such a different world I live in now. But it was cool. You know what? Being on Days of Our Lives actually was. I'm very grateful for it. Yeah. Because I don't know if you know, but for soap operas, especially in the States, I don't know how they film it over there. I mean, I do, but I don't for telenovelas. But like, everything moves fast. Sometimes you shoot 2 and 3 episodes in a day. Like if you were to compare that to prime time, 2 or 3 episodes takes almost a month. Yeah. We shoot 2 or 3 a day. That's 180 pages of dialogue a day. That means you get basically barely one take. So imagine, the preparation period, like you become a machine. But I'm grateful for it because it got me to be very prepared for anything, because you can't be scared. You just literally just have to do it. But also they shoot soaps in a certain way, and that's why a lot of times people are like, oh, it's very soap opera, or it's like a soap opera. It's because of how they film it, how they edit it, the music, the tone, the writing. And it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. It just means that it's a certain genre. So you have to be careful getting stuck a little bit mentally in that genre, branching off. And I was always wanting to do more film in prime time. But it was a very good opportunity. Got my career started, and I'm grateful for it. I always will be. And I've worked with a lot of those people over the years. So they were all very talented, very, very respectful and cool people.
How cool is that? And then in 2011, you were in NCIS Los Angeles. You played as Navy SEAL Brian Dickerson. Tell me also about your character, and what are some of the things that you usually do before shooting a scene?
What I should know? What was the last thing?
Yeah, like what are some of the things that you do, like before shooting a scene?
What the things that I do before shooting a scene? Like my preparation?
Yeah.
Okay. Not a whole lot. I'm not too much of a method actor, to be honest with you. I understand the basis of what it is. I don't judge the character too much. I like to go in with a free mind. And I like to go in like sort of I have the idea, I have the understanding, I have the knowledge enough to understand either experience or understand it enough to create. But I don't like to play an idea. When you play an idea, you're performing an idea that's not authentic, because you're almost copying or mimicking. Okay. For me as an actor, I don't. In order for me to even want to do this business, I want to do it in the moment. I want to do it in real time. So it's almost like you hear it for the first time. But back then, I almost wasn't even I was actually a little bit more preparational of an actor back then than I am now. So right now, I prep under certain understandings, depending on the character. But for that one, I was super excited. I was working with LL Cool J.
How cool was that?
Yeah, and I grew up on his music, so like everybody. I mean, LL Cool J back when I was growing up was like,
totally.
I mean, dude, I lost my virginity to LL Cool J. Like, it was funny because I told him that. He goes, bro, everybody did. He was like actually probably one of the coolest people I think, like personality wise, being on the set with him, like he was a super cool guy. Yeah. That was an interesting shoot because one is the NCIS Los Angeles, and back then that was was it the opening episode of season 2? It was the second season just starting. So I was super excited about it. And the premise is so I was a Navy SEAL, and in the episode, a girl gets kidnapped and buried underground. Well, it brings him back to flashbacks of when he was partner in the Navy SEAL, Brian Dickerson. They were captured by these Serbians, and I was shot, and we were buried alive in a box underground. Yeah. So it's taking him back. So when he was going to look for the girl, it would bring him back in time in his head. So it was actually really an emotional scene. Actually, I have to say it was really an emotional scene. But LL Cool J is really big dude. Yeah. No, but he's like bigger than people think. Like, I always thought he was probably like 6 feet, 6'1", maybe like 220. Dude, he's like 6'3", 255.
What?
Yeah. I'm 5'10", 170. So like, we had to get buried alive together in a box, okay? And cutting clothes. Now we weren't underground because it was in a studio. Totally. But obviously special effects, you make things look like that. But I'm in a box with this dude, and he's so big, he's on top of me. Yeah. And he's eating jalapeno chips. I'll never forget. He goes, bro, I'm gonna mess with you, dude. He goes, I'm gonna eat jalapeno chips and breathe all in your face in the box. I was like, you know what? You're LL Cool J. You do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. So I was in a box with him, and like we have to like light a match in the box so we could see, because in the scene. And I've been shot. So I've been shot and I'm basically dying. So there's a whole emotional thing that goes on inside the box. But that was very intimate, I'd say, because who gets to be in a box with LL Cool J? Yeah, there you go, man. Like basically, like in bed with LL Cool J in a box.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eating jalapeno chips, lighting matches. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, it was fun. Man. It was a good experience, and it actually turned out really good.
Yeah, amazing. That is definitely a highlight. Definitely a highlight moment for sure.
Yeah. No, it's definitely one of the ones that I always remember.
Oh, cool. So then, in 2020 and this year, you played as Bobby in Purgatory. So tell me about the process you took in order to prepare Bobby, and what do you like the most about
this
character?
is interesting. I get this question a lot because it's very relevant right now because it's out. But so second season's out now on Popstar TV. It's in the last two. There's only 2 episodes left of the season. Actually, last episode, if people have, obviously, a lot of people have not seen it because it's a newer network, but people are starting out to catch on and start watching it, and they seem to really enjoy it. It's an interesting premise. It's like 12 strangers end up getting an invite to a New Year's Eve sort of like event in a place called Shambhala, and none of us know each other except either the significant one that we brought with us or like a friend, whoever came with these particular people to this event.
Yeah.
So it's like an event dinner we've been brought to, but everybody's from all different places, different walks of the world. My character is a really bad guy. Really bad guy. And if anyone goes and watches the show, Bobby is, and there's a build up from episode 1 to all the way through season 2, because there's 16 episodes altogether, but 8 and 8. Bobby's an ex-con. He's a murderer. He's a rapist. He's done awful things to people. And it's interesting because when I was offered the part, I was offered 2 different parts. I was offered the spoiled rich kid lead of the show, whose daddy gets him out of trouble, and he basically always gets things, you know what I mean, taken care of. Or the troubled, had a horrible upbringing, and was abused. This person, Bobby. So I automatically went to Bobby because I had never played a character that severe. Now I played bad boys, but not to this degree. You know what I mean? So at that particular time, when you say like, how do I prep for things? This particular role, my only prep for this was understanding those elements enough to relate to it, understanding, relationships with family, ups and downs in life, going through bad times, depression, this, that. You're trying to gather these thoughts together. Then you're like, how do you play an ex-con murderer rapist? Because at the end of the day, whoever's watching you, audience-wise, I don't care what bad guy you're playing, they still have to like you enough to not turn that off.
Yeah. So
how do you murder someone, rape someone, do these awful things, okay, and still be liked? So my preparation for it was, I was thinking, who is the one, serial killer in history that was still charming enough to woo women and people, even admitting to what he had done, showing lack of empathy, but also charming at the same time. Who is this person? It's Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
So I went and researched Ted Bundy. I watched a documentary on it. I knew a lot about it, but I wanted to watch his mannerisms and stuff that he did, and what was making people so encaptured by this man. Like, why would a woman still want to marry him sitting in the courtroom when he's admitting to doing these awful acts? So I took pieces of that understanding and kind of compiled them in my head and used just my whatever enough charm I had in myself to make this possible for people to like it. So it ended up becoming like this thing where the audience loved it. They really liked it so far. I mean, it's been really well received, and I even say to like these people, I'm like, yeah, but guys, I'm not a good person. This is not a good person. They're like, I know we love to hate you, but we want to see you do more of it. And I'm like, what is wrong with this world?
Yeah.
So it's like, and he has this relationship in the show with the character Lisa, who he ends up keeping captive And so basically, it's 12 strangers. We introduce ourselves. We all have gotten an invite. We're all been invited there for one particular reason. There is a mutual understanding between all of us in some sort of way. We're brought there for a particular murder that happened. And there is a revenge that is basically led on these people. But they're all tied together. So it's almost like, so we get lured to the surprise, they call it. And it's this underground sort of like, trespassing to this underground, like sort of like latch thing that ends up turning into you're stuck in this cave. So we end up getting trapped in a cave. They lock the door on us, this whole thing. So for 2 seasons, we're like stuck in this cave, like going crazy, mental, like trying to survive. So may the best man win. But Bobby, having these like sort of like prison skills and all these things, knows certain things. He ends up finding all the food and water. Everything's been set up. You know what I mean? Like, so it's been set up a certain way for people to find certain things or die at this particular point in order of how it went.
Yeah.
So he ends up getting the gun. He finds the gun. It's been placed in his hand, actually, when he was passed out. So I'm like controlling the whole cave, but people keep coming at me trying to get food. I won't let them get the food. So he's just a nutcase that people seem to like.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I don't know, because I won't stand up for Bobby. I'll be like, Bobby's not a good person. He's crazy. And they're like, no, we love him. And I'm like, you guys stop.
Yeah.
So if they're starting to gather an audience in Popstar TV, you have to download the app. It's actually like you go online as well, but it's basically like a Hulu or a Netflix or a Peacock or anything like that. Download the app on Google Play, Roku, on iOS or Android, and on Plex and Stir. There's a handful of ways of downloading it, or go online to popstaronline.com. But the new episodes you have to watch you have to have the app to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the new thing that we're doing this year, because they were doing it like a VOD sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's called Purgatory, and I'm curious who else seems to not be bothered by Bobby's antics, because I'm bothered by him, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it is a really cool show. I ended up watching it because I've interviewed Bibi, Tatiana, and of course you.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And Tatiana plays Lisa.
Yeah.
Very talented girls, by the way. They're both very talented.
Yeah, they're amazing. So in order for me to kind of get ready for some of the material, I ended up watching, but I only stayed like in season, like in the end of season 1, I think.
Oh, you haven't even got to season 2 yet.
I haven't seen it yet. Oh,
bro. Disregard anything that you think is bad in season 1, buddy. It's not. It's a whole nother level of disgusting. Like I didn't even remember half the stuff that was done. Like I'm like, oh my god, Eric, Jesus, what's wrong with you? But like, definitely keep watching. So episode 6 aired this past Thursday.
Yeah.
7 and 8 the next 2 weeks. But yeah, you'll be able to watch them. Yeah. But how do you like season 1?
Yeah, it's cool. I really like it. It was. I mean, well, personally, it was not like my. It's not like the usual show that I would usually usually watch.
Yeah.
But I ended up liking it, and that is one of the things that I do love about doing like this show, is that I will discover these either shows or short films or like stuff like that, and it is so cool. It is so cool whenever I get the chance to see something that I didn't saw, or something that I thought that I wasn't kind of like, and then at the end of the day I'm like, I'm actually liking this, so it's really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. Season 2 definitely moves. It's more so because the intensity builds leading to season. I don't know what episode, if you're at the end of it or if you even know like exactly how it ends in season 1, but the way it ends in season 1 and it picks up in season 2, it's way more intense.
Okay.
Right, like very in your face and more on the move. Like it's very, most of the episodes from season 2 are in your face. People start to kind of fall off. People are starting to figure it out more exactly until the very, very, very end. But like, yeah, it gets pretty brutal. You know, I don't know if you're into that stuff, but like season 1 kind of is a joke comparison to the intensity of season 2.
I like it.
But it's because it's a build-up. It's a build-up, you know.
There you go. Yeah, I like that.
So yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, you know, it's much more intense.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to watch. You know, like one of the things that happens to me whenever I watch a show is that I tend to binge watch. You know, I can't watch one episode and that's it. No, I have to like. I'm
the same way.
Yeah, I can stay away. So I need to make sure that I watch everything. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good now. You know, like it happened to me recently. I didn't watch like the last season of Peaky Blinders. You know, like the last one on Netflix. And
Which one?
The Peaky Blinders.
Why haven't I heard that? Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's an amazing show. I'm gonna have to go check.
You said Pinky Blinders?
Peaky Blinders. Yeah, Peaky Blinders.
I have like watched. That's what I feel like I know a lot of this. How do I know that? Okay, I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. So what ended up happening is that like the last season they got, I mean they're working on the last one, but like the last one they have on Netflix, I was just like at that moment I was doing like a lot of I was planning like a whole project here, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch like one episode, and like 5-6 hours later I'm still watching this, and I'm like, crap, you know. So that is one of the things that happened to me with that.
No, it's addictive, dude. It's addictive. Yeah. Like
it's a good thing.
Like okay, like the new season of You came out.
Yeah.
Love You. That's actually a role. I love his role. And now after playing like Bobby, it's a more of a calculated role. The character is more calculated. Bobby is more in your face and finds the times, but does his own specific calculations. But I really like Penn Badgley's character in You. That kind of stuff is what I'm interested in at this point. I try to play against my look as much as I possibly can. That's why I went the route of Bobby. And now I have a bunch of stuff coming out that's against me because you get stuck, you get pigeonholed. So I have to be very careful. I want to be very careful. You keep it by, you know, yes, you want to work, but I was like, no, I know things I want to do and I'm capable of doing. So I really like You, and I just finished it. I think I watched basically in 2 days.
Yeah.
Basically in 2 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the problem is then you gotta wait so long to watch the next. It's a give or take because it's like you watch all the episodes and then you have to wait a whole freaking year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you gotta wait 2 years for You or whatever it was since the pandemic.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's something you'll have to wait like way too long for the next new season. And then when that new season comes, you already forgot what was the last one, and then you need to watch the last one.
You have to watch it.
Like, okay.
Well, that's what they did with Purgatory. So a lot of people initially, when it first came out, the first season, a lot of people were watching it all in one day, and I was like, look, it's a pretty good show, but like, I mean, but people were watching it all in one day, and I was really like, well, one, I was very blessed that they were doing that. It was really cool. Like, okay, I'm done. When can we see season 2? I can't wait. And I'm like, good for you, because it's like, you know, it has its moments of like the pace and stuff, but like you have to be into that kind of like show. And then so they were, you know, they finished, like a lot of people finished it all in one day. I'm like, that's actually a very big compliment, because I was like, wow. I don't know if I would have sat through it, and it's my own show. I don't know if I would have sat through it all in one day, but cool. But yeah, then they have to keep the cycle of shows because you just run out of shows, dude.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, go, whoever is listening here. I don't know who's listening. Nice to meet you. But go watch Purgatory.
No.
It's on Popstar TV. Popstar TV. You can download on Google Play, Roku, Apple TV, Plex, Stir, on either iOS or Android, on your iPad as well, on your smart TVs. Go watch it. I think you guys will like it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you were also in NBA 2K20. Tell me, was that like your first video game, and also the first time you were doing like voiceover?
No, I've done voiceover before, but
okay.
Was it my first video game? Yeah. I had to revive trying to think on it. Yes, but the cool thing was, because I was a big basketball person, I played NBA 2K my whole life, pretty much. I don't play video games anymore, but up until like not that long, probably a couple of years ago, I played video games. But it was weird growing up playing that game. All of a sudden, you're a character in the game.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And it being basketball, and I got to work with Scottie Pippen. My favorite player of all time is Michael Jordan. So that was pretty insane. And actually, it's interesting. My stepson was on the same basketball team in their school, Sierra Canyon here in LA, with Scotty's kid, and actually LeBron's kid. This kid, the school that all the NBA players kids go to. So it was interesting. I got to work with Scotty, but I was so nervous to meet Scottie Pippen because I grew up a big fan of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. I mean, the biggest fan. Crazy. And we'd go to the games, and I was so scared to introduce myself to Scottie Pippen. I ended up doing the game with him. My girl behind my back when I wasn't at one of the games told Scottie Pippen, my man's gonna be working with you on the new video game with Scotty. And she goes, don't tell him I told you until he introduces himself. And then my director introduced me to Scottie Pippen, and he goes, yeah, oh yeah, you're Latina hottie girl told me that you're gonna be in the game with me. He goes, I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, she told me you weren't there, but she told me that you'd be working with me. And I was like, she never freaking told me. So it was really funny, but he was super cool. It was actually really cool to work on a game, especially a sport that I grew up on and like video games my whole life. So yeah, it was really cool. Yeah,
totally. How cool is that, man?
And yeah, it was super dope.
Yeah, and my last, if you could describe your acting career at the moment on a movie or a TV show, what would be the title of it?
Well, again, if I would right now at the moment, because I would say the movie I'm coming out in early next year.
Can you hear me? I can hear you. Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, my mom was calling. Sorry. I forgot to turn off the fan. The movie I'm coming out in early January is a title that is very abrasive, but it's about Hollywood and it's a dark comedy. It's what I was kind of telling you about. It's called Starfucker, and that's the truth. It's really called Starfucker, and you can look it up online. So the trailer will be coming out soon, but it's been in the works for 5 years. We had to shelve it during Me Too because it has a lot to do with not me tooing someone, but actually my character being Me Too. But it's a comedy. Yeah. So it's kind of like a gimmick on Hollywood to tell Hollywood not to take itself so serious. But it's this journey of this guy, Jimmy Star, who's on this dark, twisted path to do whatever it takes to make it to the top. So I play Jimmy Star, and it's just this like crazy ride, man. Like it's funny, it's sad. It's actually a really good movie, but we're in talks for a few different places right now, and it should be coming out like around January.
Okay.
But I would say I would have named it Starfucker, just because it's crazy ass name, and I got a chance to play it, so now I understand it. Since I can't name it Starfucker, since I already have the movie Starfucker, I would name it Bobby's World.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Do you know what Bobby's World is?
Yeah.
You do? You remember Bobby's World?
Kinda.
It was an animation. And the animation, like, it was like, "Hi, I'm Bobby." Like, literally, it was like an animation that sounded like that. But obviously, I'm gonna name it Bobby's World because my character Bobby, and it's his world.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna compile the two, that's what I would name it. Bobby's World, the next generation, sitting on a couch, chilling.
That's deep.
It's a little bit long of a title, though.
Yeah, but it's fine. Yeah.
But I feel like you can have long titles these days. For Netflix, come on. I mean, come on. You can name a whole paragraph with the title.
Yeah. No, but yeah, long. Yeah, it's a deep one. Yeah, it has like a lot of. It's like a lot. Yeah, it has like.
How about have brunch? How about have brunch with Bobby?
Have brunch, Bobby.
Yeah. That's more like a reality show though. But you didn't say it couldn't be a reality show.
But it's out.
It's what?
Yeah, but have brunch, Bobby. I mean, it sounds like a reality one, right? Like.
Well, yeah, but you didn't say we couldn't have a reality show.
There you go.
I mean, not that I want to have a reality show.
Fair enough. Yeah. Touche on that one. Yeah. And my last question here, man. Like, what can we expect from Erik in the future?
Well, I'm not going anywhere. So, I got a lot of cool stuff coming out. I have Starfuckers coming out in January. I've got a movie called Divorce Bait. Really funny one. Really funny. It's like a romantic comedy. I have a movie called Zero Road. I have a Christmas movie called Love is in Bel Air.
Okay.
I have, I can't even remember anymore. Hold on. What else? I have 2 movies in pre-production right now. I can't actually say the names yet because I'm not allowed to mention the titles. But very cool movies. Very, very, very cool. Very different movies, but very cool. One both I'm extremely excited about. But one I'm shooting next June, we're preparing to shoot, is a period piece, and it's almost like, I can say that, like, what the genre is. It's the log line, kind of like the log line of it is God. So it's like a twisted fusion between Godless and the movie Get Out, but a period piece, but modern feel with very dark, mysterious feel. And there's only 4 characters in the whole movie.
Okay.
So, but I can't really say too much about it yet, but I'm really excited about that. There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like around 12.
I can't remember right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like around 12 things, right? 12?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's weird sometimes, like, you'll know it, and then all of a sudden someone will ask you this question, and like you're trying to remember, and you're like, shoot, what the hell? Anyway, it'll be out. I'm not going anywhere, so yeah.
There you go, man. There you go. I mean, at the end of the day, what can I say? I mean, you basically have a badass career here. I mean, you have a very interesting journey here. You have done like so many stuff, modeling, music videos, TV shows, films, like video games too. Commercials from like you are just killing it here, man. And that's so cool because I think it is super inspiring to see. Yeah, it is super inspiring, and at the same time, it is one of the things that we need, like the world needs right now. People who can look up to, and the fact that you are like keep doing it and just expanding more and more. That's really cool, man.
Well, I'm very grateful for those words, and thank you. Like, honestly, like, one, I appreciate you coming on, having me come on and stuff, and that you're from Mexico. Yeah, we're near Mexico City, in Mexico. Trust me, I eat Mexican every day of my life. I've become like basically half Mexican myself because of my family here. No, but I you know what? To hear those words and stuff like that. The main thing is, like, you know, there's times that you just want to walk away from this business or anything you do. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But like to hear that after all these years and to know that I stuck in it and something that I didn't even know what I would ever do in my life is it's gratifying to hear that, and I appreciate the kind words and the respect. And I appreciate that, you know, Tatiana referred to me and stuff. And
yeah,
both, she's awesome. She's a good friend, but also a really talented acting partner, and she played Lisa great. So I'm very fortunate to have her. And Bibi is a very terrific actress as well. All of them. Danny plays Chris. They're all great, good actors. So
totally.
But thank you, man, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I mean, also thank you so much for those for watching. If you're watching these later on YouTube or listening later on the podcast, make sure that you follow Erik in all of social media. Normally, what I would say is for you to put pause, leave a like, subscribe real quick, then hydrate, and then go follow Erik. Leave a million likes, spread the word that we have an amazing, talented actor here, and then watch Purgatory and all of his work. And again, man, thank you so much. Have an amazing upcoming week, an amazing upcoming month, and keep rocking, because I do think what you're doing is really cool and it's really inspiring. And I'm super sure that there's a lot of people that does appreciate what you do. And before I send you off, I need to send you off in an epic way. So, there you go. There you go.
Thank you, brother.
All right, keep rocking.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man. Bye, guys.
Bye.